So I really don't know whether I'm a lucky bastard or something, but once I got to Marabá, I decided to try out couch surfing, which I did on several occasions throughout my trips, but long time ago. And man, I was successful. I said it many times and I will say it again. One should never underestimate Latin American hospitality. And apparently one should never underestimate Brazilian hospitality. This Brazilian couple that hosted me in Marabá, not that they just hosted me in their house, or they were feeding me as if I was some kind of a Eastern European prince. Well, they took me to places, they explained me many things, they helped me out with fixing my bicycle, and they even gave me this hat. Marabike! There is a big community of cyclists in Marabá, and lucky for me, my hosts were also part of this community, and they introduced me to some more members, and we actually cycled around a bit, and that was pretty cool. And yeah, they even gave me this hat, Marabike, Marabá bicycles of Marabá. So just out of respect and out of good memories that I have gathered in the town of Marabá for some time, I will change my regular Grateful Dead hat. And by the way, this is not Pepsi, this is Grateful Dead. This is my favorite band. So I will change my regular Grateful Dead hat into this one, and will carry this friendly Marabá spirit with me. And then at the end of my stay, this couple took me to some party, some fiesta of São João. And in this party I saw one guy walking around with this crazy hat. And I said like, dude, this is really cool hat. And he said, well, if you like it so much, you can have it. So now I have 3 hats. And this one is really not too comfortable to carry around, because if I would try to cycle with this, wind would blow it away. And I really don't have much space, but this one is so crazy that I think I'll keep it for a while, you know, because who knows, maybe further down the road I will impress some Brazilian lady with this one. You know, man needs to have some game going on, huh? Anyway, but enough of the hats. So lately I entered this Brazilian part, which is considered to be the Amazonian part, Amazonian region. Part which is covered by rainforest, or used to be covered by rainforest. But to be very honest, ladies and gentlemen, so far I haven't seen that much of rainforest yet. And I'm cycling down this region for about 200 kilometers or so already. Almost everything that I saw down the road was just pastures and cattle, dozens, hundreds and thousands of cows, mostly white cows and bulls, looking at me in this never-ending pasture. Agricultural frontier is really pushing it hard into Brazilian Amazon, and this part is already changed completely. So all this southern part of the state of Pará looks much more like a pasture with some little patches of jungle. And this one is actually the biggest one I found so far. This is like the first big proper chunk of rainforest that I saw down the road. And this is actually some kind of a Indian reservation. And I'm at the very edge of it. So I'm not even planning to go further because, as far as I know, I need a permission. And I don't want to confuse, ladies and gentlemen, I really would like to get inside, but there will be many indigenous communities, indigenous reservations down the road, so, you know, I think I'll skip this one. So I guess one more time I got lucky. Or I just have some common sense, and I was pedaling my bike, and then I got to this river, and then found some business down the road selling some stuff, some foods, and asked for some water, And then some gentleman showed up, and apparently the gentleman was the owner of the place, and he said, "You look tired, you can stay on my property." And I said, "Yes, I can. Definitely, yes, I can." So I just pitched my tent in some restaurant, which is closed now. And I told him that I will leave tomorrow early in the morning, so this is the promise I won't break. But that's really nice. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All snakes are beautiful, but some snakes are more beautiful than the others. And this is the case. This is beautiful rainbow boa. And those who were watching my channel before probably noticed that I kept on finding these rainbow boas back in Argentina and Paraguay, in Gran Chaco region. But these are two different species. The one I used to find back in Chaco is Epicrates alvarezi, and this one is a close relative from the same genus called Epicrates kenchria. And this animal is very well known among herpetologists, among reptile lovers, or just regular snake freaks, because it is very common pet. We really love to keep these as pets because of their coloration and because it's a very docile and peaceful animal. Like you see, this is completely wild animal, and he's just chilling here, cool as a cucumber, on my hand. I just picked it off the road like 20 minutes ago. And if you, my friends, think you are scared of snakes, well then, try to look at the world from snakes' perspective. For snakes, we are just these giant mammals, these giant creatures roaming around that can crush them anytime. So once they see us, they just try to flee, they try to run away. And if they feel cornered or threatened, or yeah, then they strike. And this one was definitely on the hunt, because as I was cycling I saw it crossing the road. And these are nocturnal predators, they hunt at night. And it's completely harmless animal. It has no venom whatsoever. It is a boa and kills its prey by constriction, just like its larger relatives, like a boa constrictor, like anacondas. So this is like a miniature land anaconda, just with more beautiful coloration. And actually, as I'm holding it, I can feel how thick and how strong the snake actually is. Even though it's not too big, but it's just pure muscle, you know. So yesterday I left Trans-Amazonian Highway for a while, I guess for a week or two, and I chose this little smaller road which leads north. And I have certain destination on my mind, but I guess I will tell you about that later, ladies and gentlemen. And this road that I chose, well, in the beginning it was nice, but then, yeah, it turned into some kind of a dirt road. And actually I was told about this, that certain parts of this road will be a little bit sketchy. It's really dusty, that's the issue. I'm constantly eating dust. But it's part of the trip. Eventually I started noticing bigger and bigger patches of rainforest around me. Finally it feels like jungle, you know. It feels more like a jungle and less like a pasture with cows. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday for some time I was cycling through the night and pure jungle started, so it was a thrill. And I had some expectations. I thought I may find some snakes. But there are good nights and then there are those nights that are not so good, so I haven't found any. But still it was a nice ride. But very short one, because unfortunately very early on batteries of my flashlights all died out. I just forgot to charge them properly before I hit the road, and yeah, I just had to stop, so I picked this random location next to the road. It was pretty nice, really good sleep. And frankly, cycling through the night in Brazil or in tropics or subtropics in general, for me it's much more enjoyable, sometimes more enjoyable than cycling through the day, because there is no heat, there is no sun, and yeah, from nature lovers perspective, all wildlife comes out at night, so it's somewhat more interesting. I mean, it depends. The problem is that you wake up very late. Like, I don't know what time it is, because my phone, both of my phones ran out of battery as well, but I guess around 7 or 8. Usually I'm already cycling at this time. So one more time, I was cycling and cycling, and eventually I reached this part of the road which has some pavement on it, with some asphalt on it, so it was a joyful moment, and I started cycling and cycling even more. And then the sun started to go down, and then I realized it's getting dark, and I found this little funky spot right next to the road, next to this murky river. And what's interesting about this place, it's like it's full of bats, and they're flying everywhere, catching all kinds of insects above the water. But sometimes they're passing by just right next to me, right next to my head from time to time. I've never seen bats act this way. Like, see? They're just everywhere. There's so many of them. Wow. And they're doing a good job, because there are many mosquitoes in here.